Good evening. How's everybody doing? All right. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to chat this morning. Hopefully, I can stay on for a full hour. I got to keep a very close eye on the time. But I wanted to hop on for yet another weekend morning chat. It seems like I can never get the lighting right in here. Kind of bugs me a little bit. Anyway, hold up. Hang on. I gotta get my coffee. Oh, I'm on my last sip of coffee too. Got to keep a real close eye on the time because I got readings due. Never-ending readings. Oh my God, man! They've been piling up and piling up and piling up, and they just keep flowing in and flowing in. So I've been a busy, busy boy. Busy boy. Yeah. So I got one due here in like 2 hours. 2.5 hours, something like that. So I gotta hop straight off here and get to work as soon as I'm done here. And then I just gotta keep on popping them readings off. Been a busy boy, man. It's all good though. It's all good. I like it. I'd rather keep myself busy doing something productive and something helpful, I would much rather. Very interesting, man. I'm gonna tell you what, sometimes it's real easy. I don't care because I spent a very long time intentionally manifesting my own business, a very long time. And when I first started the process, I couldn't tell you anything about tarot cards. That's how unexpected this was. But now, it's so interesting to look back because I don't care what it is you're doing. It's really easy to get caught up in, whatever job you're working and get frustrated by it. And you know what I mean? I've learned that it's no matter what you do, that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're working at a factory or working at a car wash or if you're a career YouTuber or whatever. It's just like whatever you do for a living, that's what you do. And you bring yourself to that job just like any other job, but it's really, really interesting to pop away from that, and take a step back and look like, whoa, what kind of job is this? You know what I mean? This is interesting. And I've always kind of been that way. Even when I worked like just average day jobs, it was always really, really strange jobs that I worked. I would typically get jobs that most people would be like, what do you do for a living? And I would tell them and they'd be like, huh? you know, like one of my favorite jobs was I cleaned airplanes. I was an airplane cleaner. And where I worked was in Louisville, Kentucky. And it was a company that cleaned the whole fleet of UPS planes because their world headquarters is based right there in Louisville. It's the World UPS Hub right there in Louisville, Kentucky. And that was one of my favorite jobs. People would be like, so what do you do for a living? I'd be like, I clean planes. They'd be like, you what? What do you mean? I put a harness on and I get in a bucket. I drive this big truck up to a plane and I get out and I'd put a harness on and I'd have a bucket of wax and this big long pole and it would extend out to like 12 feet, 15 feet, something like that. And I would go up in this bucket and hang over top of these airplanes and I would clean them. That's what I did for years, man. I did that for years. When I was married, especially, and when my kids were little babies, that's what I was doing. That's what I supported my family with, I don't know, though. I just kind of caught myself in a mid-epiphany here. I didn't really have a solid point with that. But anyway, yeah, I just kind of take a step back and I look at like, whoa, what an interesting life I've manifested for myself, You know what I mean? It's just crazy. But anyway, it's good to help, though, in these times that we're in right now. It's good to be of assistance. Good to be of assistance. So I'm thankful for it. I'm very blessed. Very, very blessed. Anyway, what are y'all up to? Energy work and changing frequency? Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that, Sarah. Yeah, yeah. Well, the trouble that we have with that is that's with anything, we typically like to try to find a blanket statement. Can't really do that. I mean, I try the best that I can to find blanket statements that cover. But for example, I can touch on very vague general examples, and this is what I did. This is what I did when I was changing frequencies and I was changing. Essentially, what we're doing is we're taking the way that we perceive the world and we're changing it. We're taking the beliefs, the thoughts, the normal everyday, the person that you are, and we're changing it. Okay, and and how do we do that? There's many, many, many different ways. I know that I touch a lot on the ways that we shift our perspective of like money and love and stuff like that. But if we really, really, really want to just start the process, this is what I did when I was brand spanking new on my path. I would just go inside and pick out something about myself. This is how you start the process and start taking those first baby steps to start changing frequencies. And once you start doing this, watch. Watch. Your surroundings and the people around you will begin changing. Go inside and let's just say I take one little thing about myself that I want to change. One little thing. It could be the tiniest little thing in the world. And let's say, for example, this is just a cheesy example, totally cheesy, but let's say every day, at least one time a day, when I'm driving like either to work or home from work, if somebody turns without using their turn signal, I just get pissed off. I wail my horn, stupid motherfucker, it's called a turn signal. And I just get mad and I let that devour me, you know what I mean? And there's this little voice in the back of my head saying, that's fucking petty, dude. Quit getting pissed off about that. But I've been doing this for years. Years I've had this normal emotional response. Why? I don't know. Maybe my dad was like that when I was a kid and I just learned that from him. But I just had this normal emotional response of anger to get really bad road rage, over stupid little petty shit. I'm going to start changing that. I've been doing this for years. This is just me. This is just how I am. I don't even think about it. It just happens without me putting any second thought into it. I'm going to start changing that. I'm going to catch myself. Next time somebody turns without using their turn signal or cuts me off in traffic, I'm going to woosah, woosah. I'm going to catch that thought. I'm going to put it over here and I'm going to replace it with something different. La, 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 la. It's hard at first. It's like, that motherfucker, hold up, and I start this process. And it's hard, it's uncomfortable, it's not fun, But I continue this process every time I catch myself. Sometimes I slip and I gotta catch myself when I'm in the middle of it. Damn it, man, I messed it up that time. All right, well, next time. And I just continue this process of catching myself of this completely, totally normal emotional response that has just been me for the last 15, 20 years. I can't even picture anything different. This has just been me my whole life. But I start catching that and I start doing something different. After about a year, maybe 6 months, just really depends, I start noticing, I parked my car and I'm on the way to work. Dude, 3 people just cut me off on the way here. I didn't even realize it. Didn't even even think about it. Whoa. Did I just change my emotional response? Did I just change the way I think? And am I becoming different now? Whoa. That's again, totally cheesy example. Totally cheesy, but you hopefully can take that and apply that to something that has to do with something in your life. Just these little teeny weeny nuances. That's how we begin the process. That's how we start the process, is just start going inside and saying, look, I'm going to take something about me that I could work on. Something. We all have something. Every last one of us. So if that was the best example that I can come up with, if you can't think of anything that you need to change, that's a huge problem. Every last one of us, me, you, my neighbor, Leah, every last one of us has things in here that we could work on and we could change. Okay? we just go in and we start doing that. And after a little bit, it's really uncomfortable at first. It's really uncomfortable. It's strange. It feels weird. Well, damn, what do people think if I change this thing about me? I identify with this emotional trigger. I identify with this belief system, and everybody knows that about me. What'll everybody think if I all of a sudden switch my perspective? People will call me weird. People will call me crazy. People might call me fake. People may think that I'm being inauthentic. What do people think about me? It's really weird and it's uncomfortable. And there's all kinds of things that go on inside of you that want to keep you locked in position to where you are. All these belief systems and whatnot. But once you actually, I always call it the hump, the first hump. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is exactly that you're doing. Eventually, at first, whenever you're changing one of your belief systems, whenever you're trying to manifest something or whatever, you go through a period of, I have no evidence that this is ever going to work. I have no idea. I just have to trust the process. And that's the hardest part. And then that first hump is when you start seeing the evidence. Then it becomes like, oh, okay, dude, this works. And then it becomes easier at that point. Then it becomes much, much easier to start, oh, okay, well, I want to keep doing this. I want something else, And then we just slowly but surely, and you'll begin to notice at some point in time throughout this process, it could be right at the very beginning, or it could be, but who knows when, but at some point, you'll start to notice that the people around you are changing. You'll start to notice that the types of situations that you find yourself in are different. You're attracting different situations. Does that mean they're all going to be good? Not necessarily. Because here we are locked at this frequency. Well, I wanted this frequency up here. So here I am taking steps from here to here to here, slowly swimming up out of the old frequency. And there's all different kinds of experiences and people and good things and bad things that'll happen from here to here. Okay? So, yeah, does that make sense? I hope that helps there. That's like the best thing that I could pull up off my head. Still half asleep about changing frequency, You'll notice, watch. You can sit and watch it happen. People who, man, I used to talk to this person every single day. We were best buddies at work. Best buddies at work. Once you start doing this, it starts a domino effect in your mind. It starts this psychological domino effect. It just starts changing your perceptions of everything. It becomes really addictive and really cool, And then, but you will start to notice things. You will start to notice things like, man, that person, we used to be like this at work. Now all of a sudden, we don't even really talk very much anymore. Next thing you know, now I'm starting to notice different types of people, different situations. Some for the better, some for the worse, but different nonetheless. Different types of things are happening in my life. Very interesting people are attracting themselves or are making their way into my life, And that's just how it happens, man, So if that helps, because that's what you're doing right now, let's just say, for example, those of you who have never done a day's worth of energy work, okay, like inner work or anything like that, and you're just now stumbling into these things, and you know what I mean? You consist of a set of thoughts, emotions, belief systems, ideas, biases, and all kinds of stuff that have wired themselves into your subconscious mind, and they just run that way by themselves without you even realizing it. And it started the day you were born, basically. And now up to this point, here you are. Well, especially if you're the type of person who is not experiencing the type of life that you want, okay, we really have to start taking a look at the subconscious paranoia. But that's hard to do because it's subconscious. That's the part that's difficult. That's where we have to start merging the subconscious with the conscious mind. It's not a very comfortable process. It's difficult. It can take some time and it takes patience. Isn't that weird? Learning yourself can take that much time and that much patience. But that's what we have to do. We have to merge the conscious and the subconscious mind and do the best that we can to bring them together as one unit. And it takes a lot of monitoring your own thoughts, monitoring your own emotions, monitoring your triggers, monitoring your focus, where your focus goes at any given time. And that's how the subconscious and the conscious can begin to grow together and become one. And we start to change that old paradigm and change that old system, and but I'm gonna tell you what, man, there's a lot of people that don't want to do that. Oh, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Fear will lock you in place. Fear of what? Well, let's say it's your family. Let's say if you begin changing your belief systems, your family will kick you out. And that happens a lot. People get disowned by their family because now you're breaking the generational curses. You're breaking those generational curses. This chain link pattern that has been in your family for generation after generation after generation. And then now you're breaking it because you're breaking out of that vibrational agreement, that everybody links up to and everybody lives in, and now, no. I'm breaking out of this. And they might kick you out. You know what I'm saying? Like the ugly duckling. They very well may. So, yeah, I hope that helps. Whoever, I can't really think of where else to go with that right there, but if that helps, that's right off the top of my head. I've been awake for maybe 20 minutes. That's the best thing that I could think to say about that. Thank you for the positive feedback, Cindy. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. Anyway, this is why I love chatting, man. This is why I love it. It gets my brain fired up. I got a stack of readings right over there. Hang on. Right over there at my workstation. That's where I sit and work. Got a stack of readings right there. And I got to get started on them here in about a half hour. I got about 30 minutes, and then I got to get over here and start popping them readings out. And then here's how the daily routine is going to go. Then Leah's going to get up, and we're going to sit and talk. She's going to go downstairs in her office, and then she's going to bring me up another stack of them. And then on and on and on the process rolls, But it's cool, though, man. I dig it. And another payment just came in right there. See? Right as I said that, another payment just came in. So I'm a busy boy, man. But I'm very honored to, like I said yesterday, I used to get really frustrated by it and overwhelmed, but no, it's totally cool, man. I'm very honored to be able to assist in the shift, in the frequency shift. And what we just talked about a minute ago should help you understand what we mean by frequency shift. All we're doing is we are expanding our consciousness and changing the way we perceive life, changing the way we perceive the world. And basically, this right here, what I just got done talking about, now your eyes will open. Once you start this process, your eyes will open. They will pop open. And then eventually, it's like a big snowball. You know what I mean? Once you start the process, it's really difficult to fall back asleep. Once you start the process and you see how easy it is to break up out of old programming and break up out of old ways of looking at the world, and it's really hard to stop the process. Your eyes pop open and you see, whoa, I can program myself. That's when you'll fucking turn the news off. That's when you'll turn the damn TV off, and you'll probably you'll start unfollowing lots of stupid pages on Facebook and whatnot, because once you see how easily programmable you are, because you have the power to program and reprogram and unprogram your own mind with your own thoughts, and you do. It's being done for you. It's been done for you for generations and decades and decades and decades. But then once you realize that you have the power to do it to yourself, they've already scientifically proven that many, many times. Many, many times. Oh, yeah. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. Okay, and I'm going to quote it the best that I can. This was like the most fascinating thing. And I could be like, not really, I'm not quoting it verbatim, but it was something to the effect of, they took two groups of people, okay? Group A and Group B. Both groups got a brain scan, okay? Then after the brain scan, they just looked at everybody's brain just to look at it. Then they had group A sit down at a piano and practice a little melody, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or something like that, at a very strict schedule for like 8 weeks. And after the 8-week period, they scanned their brains again, and they could see the new connections that were wired in their brains from learning and practicing that little melody on the piano. After that, they took group B, and they had them run through a series of mental exercises and think about practicing the exact same melody. Same schedule as group A, but they never saw or sat down at or touched a piano. And guess what? 8 weeks later, the exact same new connections were formed in the minds of the people who use thought alone, repetitive thought control, as the people who sat down and physically touched the piano. That's how powerful your thoughts are. And they're even more powerful than that. And I touch on that a lot of times in personal readings when I break down the actual science, the science behind how this works. There is science to back it up. Oh, yes, there is. It's not a theory. It's not a philosophy. There is science to back it up. It's just not mainstream science. Oh, yeah. But anyway, hey, y'all got me fired up this morning, boy. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Have I ever thought about what? Writing a book? Yeah, everybody always asks me that. Everybody always asks me that, man. It would make one hell of an interesting story, yes, but I don't have the patience to sit down and do that. And I know that's just an excuse. That's my own mind blocking me from it. I would more than likely probably end up having to hire one of those people to write it for me while I give them all the information, if I was to ever do that. I know that's my inner bitch talking. That's just me being lazy, but I really, the one thing that I've always struggled with, see, me growing up, like in school and whatnot, and I touched on this in one of my other chats too, that I would always get in so much fucking trouble. More trouble, like me and you could do the exact same thing, and I would get in more trouble. And you know what they would tell me? They would tell me I'm in more trouble because I'm smarter and I know better. And that fucked with my head for a long time. My whole life, all the different teachers and everybody would tell me the same thing. And, but I would always struggle with certain things, man. You could not hand me a book and say, learn the information in this book and recite it back to me on my command. Why? I'm not interested in that. I just have this bullshit detector in my head that says, bullshit detected, bullshit detected. You're never going to use this useless information. You only have so much storage space in your mind, and you're never going to need this. Bullshit detected. And I could not. The harder I would try to focus, and I would just sit down and be like, and to try to read something that I'm not interested in. Oh, if I'm interested, if you hand me a book that's something that I'm really passionate about, I will soak it up like a fucking sponge. But if you hand me something, you say, read this because I said so. And even no matter how hard I try, I'll be 10, 15 pages in. And there's these two voices in my head. One voice is reading the words. So once upon a time, they were in a beautiful sunshiny day, blah, 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 blah. But my conscious mind that's actually thinking is like, well, I wonder what I'm going to do tomorrow. Oh, I wonder what I'm going to eat for dinner, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm thinking about something else. And then I got to catch myself. Oh, shit, man. I just skimmed through 10 pages and did not absorb 1 ounce of information. I got to start all over again, I've always been that way. I've always been that way. So sitting down and actually like writing a story about my experiences and putting it in a way because I don't like reading. I really don't. So I don't know how to put it on paper in a way that your average person who likes to read could pick it up and it would grab their attention. You know what I mean? Like my dad wrote a book a few years before he died, and it got published, but nobody bought it. It was really, 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 really hard to sit and focus on it, It didn't go anywhere. It was really hard to, so I don't know how, because there's tricks. I've learned tricks like in video, you know. When I was first manifesting a business, I just jumped in and started doing research on how to build a network marketing business. And the further along down the line I went, I ended up doing it in the public spotlight, which I never wanted to do. I wanted to hide behind my business and nobody know who I am. But I ended up having to, with this one network marketing team that I was on, it included having to brand yourself and put videos on social media and run ads and stuff like that. Oh, it was so fucking embarrassing. But we took training on how to grab somebody's attention, you know? You have like, I think they said I think it's different on whichever platform you're on, but at least on Facebook and YouTube are different. On Facebook, it's designed, you have a very short fucking attention span. You gotta grab somebody's attention quick on Facebook or else they're just not, you know what I mean? So these tricks and techniques you have like 5 seconds in a video to catch somebody's attention, you know? You know what I mean? So things like that, and then holding people's attention for a long time and different ways of doing that, you know? In case you all happen to notice, I'm sure everybody's noticed that I usually am not a big fan of letting long lulls of silence happen in my videos. I'll start humming, you know, something to keep your attention, because it's so easy, you know, if I just, woosah, silence, your mind starts wandering off. Think about it. Anyway, though, I'm kind of trailing off a little bit. Yeah, as far as writing, though, really not 100% sure how all that works as far as reading goes. And I'll be 100% honest with you, I'm not passionate enough about reading to learn, but I probably should. I have this voice in me. Not only is this voice in me telling me that I need to do that one of these days, but everybody tells me, just like whoever it was that commented that. You know, everybody's like, oh, you should write a book. You should write a book. And there's this voice in me telling me, yeah, dude, we should do that one day. We should really sit down and learn how to do that. And then the big me is like, oh my God, that sounds like a fucking migraine, you know? You know what I mean? It would make one hell of an interesting story, though. It would make one, if you could get it written down right, and it would make one hell of a fascinating story. It would. I mean, sometimes I'll just sit back, and I'm talking, at the time, I've reached points where I was so low, like, well, I told y'all, I attempted suicide a couple times. That's how dark my story is, you know? But now looking back and seeing how all that was beautifully orchestrated to bring me here, I look back on my story and just watch it in my mind like a movie sometimes, like, whoa, fucking nuts, dude. You know? Know what I mean? Do. Write a book when I retire. When I retire. Don't know when that's going to be. We're going through something right now that is going to be a very different experience as far as finances go in the future. So we'll have to see what retirement's all about. What our opinions of retirement is next year this time. Let's just say that. You definitely buy it. Cool. Yeah, I know, man. I do need to look into that. But maybe the end point, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm not at a good place to end the story yet. Maybe. I've had this, as much as it feels like I've reached the top of the mountain, or as much as, I don't even feel like I've reached the top of the mountain yet, but as much as like looking back and the success mountains I was attempting to climb, where I'm at right now was my perception of the top of the mountain back in the day, you know? So I would have thought that where I am now would be a good resting point, but I don't really think there is a resting point, you know? Ever since I got to the position that I'm in today, I had this other voice screaming at me, man, you ain't nowhere near done yet. Nowhere near done. This is just one little stepping stone, you know? I'm like, damn, dude. Okay. I just have this feeling that there's other doorways of opportunity that are just going to keep opening up and popping open and popping open. And I just don't even know if I'm really at a point in life right now where I could write a story and end it very good. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like I'm at an ending point. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I know I ask y'all that a lot, but I always like to make sense. That's one of the big things that I'm into in the spiritual community, or just in general, is making sense. I remember when I was on my path, when I very first started my awakening journey, which began damn near right after I got up off the streets, right after I got up, out of being homeless and turned myself into a homeless shelter and whatnot. And I've told a lot of you this. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but when I got my Obama phone, the free phones that they'd give you back in the day if you were on government assistance, and I found my first law of attraction video, and that's what kicked it all off. And that's what really began my awakening journey. I didn't know what in the hell it was, what law of attraction was. I was doing research on NDEs and whatnot. So, it's not like I just was watching music videos and accidentally found a law of attraction video. I was doing research into, I didn't know what. I was just trying to learn something, So I would always sit around and watch NDE, near-death experiences, And that's when I found my first law of attraction video. But anyway, that's really what kicked it off. And I'm like, whoa, my awakening path. And I kind of forgot where I was going with that. Oh, yeah. On my path, one of the things that would always kind of frustrate me is that when I say on my path, what I mean is, like, when you're on your path and you start looking for guidance, So you go to people on the internet, basically, is what you do, Public figures on the internet who are talking about things that you want to know about, awakenings, the spiritual process and whatnot. And one of the things that always frustrate me so much is that I don't like the way you're explaining it. I would look, man, you got 10, 20,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel or on your Facebook page. And, I look at this video here and it looks like, maybe 100,000 people have watched it. But I don't like the way you explained it. I could explain it better than that. I would always think that to myself, If I was in your position, I could explain that 10,000 times better than you. And I guarantee you, of the 100,000 people that watch this video, or however many, just for example, 50,000 people that watch this video, I would feel very safe betting that at least 25,000 of them didn't fully understand what you were talking about. And I bet you if I was in your position, I could probably at least get 40,000 of the people to understand it better than you did. That was my thought process at the time. And I would always just think that, as I was on my awakening journey. But I never ran my mouth in the comment section, never attempted to start arguments with any of these people. I was very silent. I kept my fucking mouth shut. That's one thing that I did. I shut the hell up until I could prove it to myself in my own life. I would watch videos, I would listen to people, and I would actually take what they were saying and literally apply it to my life and keep my mouth shut. I would always, if I ever felt tempted to start an argument with somebody, I would think to myself, well, damn, who the fuck am I to argue with you? Look at you. You're in a better position than me. One of these days, I'm gonna save my energy. I'm not gonna say anything in your comment section. But one of these days, I'm gonna get my message out there somehow, some way. I had no clue how, but that was just the voice inside of me. That was just my thought process at the time, And next thing you know, seemingly overnight, by accident, from my conscious mind's perspective, bam, here I am in the position. Whoa! So now I got to make it my life's work. But here's the funny thing, too. By the time I was given the platform and the audience, I had lost the passion to talk about those things anymore. Law of Attraction 101, dude. Law of it, I let it go, I had released it, and I was like, man, I don't even really care anymore. I'm to the point where I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't really care if you agree with me or disagree with me. I don't really give a shit because I'm living proof that it works. So I had to find the passion. I had to dig the passion back up again. I had to relight that fire again because I kept having, universe was saying, yo, it's time to do what you've been wanting to do. And I was like, man, but I don't really feel like it anymore. I'm not passionate about talking about these things that nobody, you know what I mean? Like, and I had to relight that fire, and it took a little bit to get that fire relit, you know, to where I could, okay, all right, well, I'm going to take my rendition of it that I spent, I don't know how many years, not many, not like decades, just, 3-4 years or whatever, 3-4 years, you know, coming up with my own idiosyncratic private rendition of how to explain and understand these things. Now it's my job. I could feel the universe saying, yo, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about money. You know, you'll get paid. Don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry about money. Your number one job is helping people. Your number one job is helping awaken people and open their eyes. You're part of that clan now. You're part of the group. You're part of the team, you know? So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't even really know, again, where I was going with that, but. I don't know where I was going with that. So anyway, I started off talking, and I just trailed way the fuck off, but I was talking about how, you know, I used to get so frustrated because I didn't like the way other people explain certain concepts. I don't remember why. I think I had a point, but no, oh well. Oh well, this channel ain't that serious. There's a few people watching, the little teeny handful of you are watching, and the little teeny handful of people who watch this video. That's called a ripple in the pond. A ripple in the pond, okay? So I know at least one person, one person is gonna watch this video at some point, if you're not watching now live, and then that's gonna spark something in you, and then you're gonna spark something in somebody else, and that's how we make ripples. That's the ripple effect. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm not getting paid for this video, by the way. I'm not getting, I don't get paid for this channel. I could. People have asked me, why don't you monetize that channel? And I don't want to. I don't feel like I should. I don't feel like I should. This is completely free. These videos, when I get on here and chat, I get nothing out of this other than knowing that I helped somebody. Period. You have to give not just money, but you have to give your time and your talent as well. That's part of manifestation. You have to give your time, your talent, and your treasure. You have to give for free. The 3 T's, time, talent, and treasure. You have to give away for free. You have to give. It's not just, you don't just donate money. I mean, that helps. Don't get it twisted, you know. Giving money, definitely, it primes the video, or primes the vehicle for manifestation, as I learned in Mind Mastery School. But yeah, you do have to give your time and your talent away for free as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I picked up a vape yesterday. Picked me up a vape. The cigars were just getting nasty, man. And Leah said, why don't we just get vape pens? I was like, that's a fucking awesome idea. I forgot all about these things. I hadn't even thought about it. But anyway, if you enjoy what you're doing, it isn't really a job. Yeah. But what other word are we going to use for it, you know? I know what you mean. I mean, it really depends on the intention that you use, you know? Like there's some people that say diet. Like, oh man, I don't use the word diet. That's a negative way to look at it. And I understand that, but like for me, I enjoy my job. I enjoy my diet. So I genuinely do enjoy it, but I do kind of understand where it has this obligatory connotation assigned to the words, where it's just kind of like like an obligation, like, oh, I don't want to eat this way. I have to. I don't want to do this thing, but I have to make money. You know, I get it, but maybe we can come up with a different way of wording that, you know? I don't know. I don't know. It's my job though, and I love my job. I do. To enjoy your career, you won't succeed. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, Mary. What's success, though? What is success? What is it? What is success? That's the most fascinating. What is success? What does success mean? I define it very simply. Success is, it worked. Yes. Failure is, I give up. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. But of course, again, we were very programmed to, when we hear the word success, the connotation behind it is cha-ching, right? Success is a mentality, you know? So I very much understand what you mean. I don't give a damn what you do. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you, man, I don't give a damn. I knew this one, check this out. And this stuck with me. When I was 17 years old, I worked as a cashier at Arby's, okay? And the general manager of the store, and at the time I kind of poked fun of him, made fun of him, but now I really highly respect this mentality. The general manager of the store, he told me, and I don't remember, I wish I could quote, I don't even really remember his name. I think his name was Chris or something like that, but he said that his dream since he was like 10 years old was to have his own Arby's store. I mean, and this dude was just so fiery and passionate and happy every day he came into work. And he said, my dream, this has been my dream since I was a little kid, was to have my own Arby's. And he got his own fucking Arby's. You know what I'm saying? He was the general manager of the store. And that's success. That's success. There's this dude I went to school with in elementary school named Tyler. I'll never forget this dude. And I remember when we were in fourth grade, I asked him, I said, so what do you want to do when you grow up? You know, he said, I want to be a lawyer. Well, I haven't seen this dude since then. That was probably about the last time I saw him, that year that we were in fourth grade together. I don't remember ever seeing him. I think he moved to a different school. I look him up on Facebook. He's a fucking lawyer. He told me when he was 10 years old what he wanted to do, and he's doing it now. That's success. That's success. When you dump passion into what it is that you do and you love it, that's success, you know? But financial success is a manifestation of a mentality. That's what it is. When we hear the word success in and of itself, I don't give a damn what you do. I don't care what it is. Don't care. I mean, it could be something silly as, I mean, you know, owning your own Arby's or whatever. I don't care. But when we think in terms of financial success, the money that you make just happens on the side after you adapt a mentality. You know, that's what it is. It's a way of perceiving the things that happen to you in your life. That's what manifests success in like finances and things like that. And that's how you keep climbing a mountain. You know, that's how you become more and more. That's how your success begins to expand. It's a very specific mentality that you have to adapt while you're on a specific path. That makes sense? And it very much has a lot to do with how you perceive challenges. Is one thing that I learned. I'm gonna tell y'all what, man. I used to be one of the most negative-minded, no confidence, no hope for the future. Y'all have no clue who I used to be. I'm an entirely different fucking person altogether. I used to have no hope for the future, no dreams, no goals. I had no self-respect. I was one I was one of the most negative people you ever met in your life. I was one of those. Oh yeah. But then after a while, well, first of all, I was not allowed to leave. I tried to leave this planet. And when I say I tried, I mean I tried. I wasn't just trying to get attention. I tried a couple of times, and it was made not able to happen. And then an Ace of Swords moment popped into my head when I was sitting in the mental hospital, that this right here, the fact that I tried and planned this out so strategically, and here I am, now life is even fucking worse. I made it worse. Not only am I not allowed to leave, but I made my life worse. I've never, ever, ever gone down that dark path again since then. It cured me of that, you know. But once I lost everything, hit rock bottom, I adapted a specific mentality. I adapted a very specific mentality that has pretty much led me to where I am now. And to make a long story short, there's two different ways of looking at life. Okay. There is what they call paranoia, which is the belief that everything that happens in your life, the good, the bad, or the ugly, is eventually rigged to work against you. That's the paranoid mindset, which is what most of us have been programmed into adapting. And then there's the antidote to that, which is proanoia. Proanoia, which is the belief that no matter what happens, the good, the bad, or the ugly, it's rigged to eventually work out for your benefit. That's the success mindset. That's the success mentality. I don't care what happens. If something bad happens to me today, I'm immediately picturing myself in the future, thankful that it happened, because later on down the line, it helped me in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Did y'all catch that little post that I put on Facebook this morning, those of you who follow my page? Picture yourself in the future having a conversation about the past. What type of conversation are you having? That's how you know what timelines you're pulling forward. That's how you know. And it does. It's not just a cute little philosophy. Watch. Do it. Try it. Adapt that mentality. Yep. And then, when you're really fully on that success mentality, you begin to learn that there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is an illusion. It's an illusion. That's the success mindset. Once you, and you can test yourself with this. Like, how do you experience, or how do you perceive challenges? Like, whenever something happens that doesn't work out in your favor, or, man, I've just been trying to build this business and it crashed and burned, you know? The business I just told you all about that I built, that where, like I said, it took me every bit of about 8 months. 8 months. And I had built this fully automated network marketing business on Facebook. And all I would have to do is, before I went to bed at night, I could run an ad. And I would target specific groups of people, and it would show up in their timeline. And if you commented on my video while I'm asleep, there was this bot, a messenger bot, that would inbox you a message. And then it would give you a link to click. You would click that link, and then it would say, enter in your email. You know, you'd enter your email, and then you would go to the website, and then it would start emailing you every single day, you know, and I would have it all planned. So I built a fully functional network marketing business that could communicate with you and pull in sales, you know, and do the sales and do everything for me while I was asleep. I built that. It took me about 8 months to do it. When I very first said, I'm going to manifest my own business. And it crashed and burned. I spent about 8 months. I don't know how many thousands of dollars I could barely fucking afford to spend. I was making minimum wage, you know, and it crashed and burned. But was that a failure? Hell no, dude. Do you know how much I learned? Perfect example. This is among many things that I learned. My presence on camera. I took training courses on you know, developing a more efficient way of presenting yourself on camera, you know, in which, again, like I say, it's not a fake personality that I put on. It's just a certain energetic flow that captures your attention. Just for example, that's among many things that I learned, that I wouldn't be able to do what I do today without learning all that. So did I fail? No, hell no, dude. Universe said, okay, you want a business? No problem, I got you. But before you get your degree, you're gonna have to take some classes. Simple. So here you're gonna take this course. That's the success mentality. That no matter what happens, I don't care. I learned something. And I'm gonna use what I learned when I'm successful. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The minute you start saying that, if something bad happens to you today, something bad, I don't know, anything. If the first thought in your mind should be, cool, well, I can't wait till that day that I'm thankful that this happened because I see why it was supposed to happen. Whenever you get to the point to where when a challenge happens, that's your first thought, that's how you know you're on the path to success. And there is no stopping you, period. If you turn that thought process into your new way of reacting to challenges and obstacles and failures, there's no stopping you from succeeding, period. There is no such thing as failure. If it's not successful right away, you learn. See what I'm saying? It's a mentality. It's a mentality. I'm going to be having to get off here in a couple of minutes, y'all. I know at least one person needed to hear that. I'm thirsty. Hang on just a second, y'all. Ooh, getting fired up, ready to start doing my readings. I got one due at 9 a.m. And it's, what time is it now? Let's see, I started about, okay. All right, so I got about an hour and a half. Anyway, appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Thank y'all. I got a great night's sleep last night, dude. Great night's sleep. And I think it's because I didn't take any sleep aids. I usually take something to help me sleep, you know? Like my favorite thing to take is those little gummies that have become real popular. You know, they're in the purple bottle. And those are my favorite things to take. And I didn't take them last night. And I woke up this morning. Usually I wake up 3-4 times a night to go to the bathroom. You know, I woke up this morning, 6 a.m. I didn't get up one time in the night. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling good, dude. Feeling good. Vibing high, man, vibing high. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good this Sunday morning? Well, depending on where you are in the world, if it's morning. You enjoyed my coffee talks when I was in Idaho, Betty? Oh man, you're an old school follower. That's cool. That's cool. I was a very different person back then too. Very different. Very, very different. I look back on some of those and I think, man, I've come a long way. That's the goal. That's the whole goal. Next year, this time, this me that you're experiencing right now is going to be completely transformed into something different. That's the goal. Every single year. Every year. Now, though, I am blessed beyond my wildest dreams to have a partner by my side, Leah, to do the journey with me. I'm used to doing it mainly by myself. That's the thing about changing frequencies like we were talking about earlier. It's very, very, very common. Most people don't want to change frequencies, you know, and you can't make somebody change frequencies. That's one of the main things that keeps people locked into one frequency is, like I said, if you want to go from here to here, you're going to encounter all different types of new people, new friendships, new relationships, new acquaintances and stuff like that. But they're short-lived. They're short-lived. Unless you find a person, somebody comes along in your life who's willing to change frequencies with you. That's difficult. Most people walk a huge portion of the path alone, a huge portion of it. Some people walk the whole damn thing alone for the rest of their lives. But most people that like myself included, and other people that I've met and talked to, walk a huge portion of the path completely alone. Completely alone. And a lot of times the universe rigs it up that way on purpose, because the whole goal to begin with is to have a relationship with yourself. And until you develop that relationship with yourself, you're going to be alone. The universe is going to force you to be by yourself until you learn to love it. Then, once you learn to love yourself, I know y'all, this saying, you must first love yourself, is so trendy. Well, it's called frequency equalization. Once you learn to love the self, that relationship that you have in here will manifest out here, because that's your entire life experience anyway. It's a reflection of whatever frequency that you're on. And most of us, because of the system that we were born into and the programming we were exposed to for generations, dude. I don't even know when it started. I know that it was very, very, very popular when my grandparents were kids. We've been programmed to have a horrible relationship with ourselves and look to a connection with another person to fix that problem. Very, very sick, twisted way to brainwash humans, because the powers that used to be that brainwashed us into thinking that way know damn good and well that's not how this dimension functions. So what it does is it creates this dog chasing its tail type of mentality, you know, and people get locked in one frequency because they're afraid to separate from somebody who's close to them. But eventually you will end up linking up with a person or people, you know, at least a person. In my life now, it's really starting to get to the point to where it's multiple people, you know. So it's not just Leah, but, you know, she has like her mom is very much in this mentality where we're all willing to do the inner work together and change frequencies together. Okay. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yes, I'm very blessed to have Leah, who, man, I don't have to tell her nothing. That's so cool, you know? I don't have to explain anything to her. She gets it. She just gets it naturally, you know? She's just already aware. I didn't have to sit and teach her anything. She just naturally wanted to learn, and she naturally adapted that mentality of transformation, you know? So she changes with me, and we work together, and we help each other, you know? It's really super cool. But I had to, like, back when I was in Idaho, that's what this, you know, most of my path was very alone, very, very alone, you know, the vast majority of it. So it's really, really interesting to look back now. In July will be me and Leah together for 2 years. And it's just like, whoa, I've gone through all this transformation with one person by my side. It doesn't usually work that way. I've never experienced that. Usually, while there's somebody by my side, it's at a plateau. And the more I change frequencies, the weaker the connection gets, the weaker it gets until it's very interesting to have somebody by my side who's taking the steps with me, you know? It's cool. I digs it. Back there in Idaho, yeah, I was very, very stressed out all the time. Very stressed out. Very stressed out. I had no sense of foresight, you know? I had no idea where my life was going. I just knew that, man, universe, are we done playing this game yet? When's it gonna calm down? When's the craziness gonna calm down, you know? But completely different. Oh, from in Maine. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Yep, very different in Maine. Yeah. Well, that was where I spent most of my time sitting and manifesting, you know? From the very moment I set foot in Maine, I said, okay, my next move is to manifest a business, because I saw it in a vision. This is one little part of the story that I don't really tell a whole lot, and for no reason other than it just doesn't ever really fit. But I saw it in a vision. See, the time that you all saw me living in Idaho wasn't my first time living in that town. It was my second time. I returned back to that town. But the first time I was in that town, right around the time that I was supposed to be leaving, I was meditating. And I was using theta waves. I was putting theta waves in my earbuds, and I was meditating. And I saw New York City, and I saw you're a successful business owner. Those are the two visions that I saw. And I'm like, what? That came out of nowhere. It was like invading my mind. This was one of the very few times that a vision invaded my mind that I didn't want. I wasn't trying to manifest it at the time. It was invading my mind. what the hell? What I was trying to manifest was a trip down south to like near the Georgia, Florida area, you know, because it was about time for me to move. So I'm meditating, and this is one of the things that I had done, meditating to help manifest. So I would like wake up out of the, not wake up, but I would snap out of the meditation like, whoa, hold up. That's the wrong thing. No, I'm manifesting this. So I would put myself in that transcendental meditative state, and it kept invading itself into my mind. New York City, you're a successful businessman. And these two little visions kept saying, no, you're not doing that. Here, New York City, you're a successful businessman. So for about a week, I battled with this. I kept seeing these two little visions that I could not explain. I had no clue. New York City, I've never been anywhere near New York City, nor do I want to go there. Why the fuck is New York City? So anyway, I ended up linking up with who I ended up dating in Maine. She, like, I said, look, I posted, I don't know if it was in like a Facebook group or something like that. Does anybody in the country need a roommate? I'll come to you. I don't have anything right now. I'm working a job in Idaho doing construction, and I'm about to go homeless. I need a place to live. I promise you I'm not a weirdo. I don't have anything now, but I can promise you that I will immediately show up wherever and start looking for work. And then that's when the lady in Maine messaged me and said, yes, I need a roommate, you know? And okay, cool. We get to talking, shooting it up, and I didn't even really know really where Maine was. That was a corner of the map that I've never even put my attention to, you know? And so, okay, we're talking, she's getting everything ready on her end, I'm getting everything ready and prepared on my end, and getting the money up to get this bus ticket, and then, so I finally bought my bus ticket. I'm like, oh, okay. So I look, and I end up having a 3-hour layover in New York City. And I went, oh, whoa, holy shit. That's what the vision was. The vision told me I'm about to be in New York City, a city that I've never, ever even thought about. I'm about to go to New York City. That's what the vision was. And I'm going to be a successful business owner. Well, and that just, my mind exploded at that point. Like, whoa, you know? And I was like, whoa. So I got up there and I kind of explained that to her. I was like, look, here's my thing. I'm like really into law of attraction and manifesting, you know? And this may sound kind of crazy, but my next move is to manifest a successful business. That's my move. I was meditating and I saw the vision. I saw two visions. First one was New York City, and the second one was successful business owner. That's all I know. I didn't have any details. I had no clue why I saw these two visions. I said, so, and this was in May of 2017 that I showed up there in Maine. And I said, okay, well, I got to manifest a business somehow. And that's when the process began. That's a little piece of the story that I don't think I've told that publicly. I don't think I've put that part in the story. So that's when the process began. That was in May of 2017. So May, June, July, August, September. A year and 4 months later is when my YouTube channel popped off. So, yeah. There's a little puzzle piece that I haven't added into there before. So anyway, on that note though, dude, I do got to go ahead and get out of here. I do. I have about an hour and a half to get my first reading done. So yeah, there's people who end up unfortunately getting pushed out to the very last hour, the 24-hour time frame, you know? And like I said, I have about, I can't go over there and look at them because I can't show y'all. I don't want you to see anybody's personal information, but I have, I think 6 of them over there. They have to be done today, before 3 p.m., 6 of them. So, and then she's probably gonna bring me up another stack. So anyway, I gotta go ahead and get out of here, y'all. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. I'm gonna get to work and hopefully you'll see me publicly putting some videos on my main channel later. But y'all have a good one.